Welcome to the Big Biz Show. Taking care of business. You want fast-talking, hard-hitting discussions on business and finance? Maybe with a barroom slant and some really salty peanuts? We're not counting calories. We're counting cash. Before we get to the man with the financial plan, meet the money team. Costa, Mary, now Captain Finance himself, Sully.
We are inside the Loft 100 studios in Southern California, and wherever you're watching and listening, we appreciate you being along for the ride of this edition of the Big Biz Show. And as we like to say around these here parts,
I forgot too. But this is not a thing.
Excuse me, sir.
Okay.
Excuse me. I'm still talking.
It's not a thing.
The world is still listening to me.
It's not a thing.
That is the Day Trader Quattro, best in the business.
I'll give those guys. Give us some love over there.
My faves.
Costa, Mary, Godwin, and Sully.
Hey, I've got to say,
oh boy, what a weekend.
This is big news.
Huge news.
So, you know our friend Marty Stubbs, who's our real estate expert here?
Yeah.
Yes.
And then, Sideline Sports, Mike is the
Offside sports.
no, whatever it's called.
Yeah, close enough.
Oh, whatever.
Some show on national TV
Some show you produce here at the
it's on this
studio.
network.
You produce it.
That he's the producer and he is the star
Yes.
of the program. And we have an occasional member of the team.
We do.
His name is CJ Stubbs.
Yeah.
Now, Marty Stubbs, real estate, already has one son in the majors.
Yeah.
Okay. Garrett Stubbs, who's played for the majors for 5 years.
Phillies, right?
6 year, 4 years been in the World Series.
Yeah, pretty good.
Because
Pretty
of
good
the
ratio.
sneaky, horrible, that was Ozzy Osbourne, by the way, doing it.
R.I.P. Ozzy.
So because of the horrible business of baseball, and baseball is a horrible business, Garrett Stubbs got pulled down to AAA this year.
He did.
Because there was a backup catcher in AAA that if they didn't pull him up, they were going to lose him to free agency, which meant that they had no it would have been a real bad issue.
Sure.
And of course, Garrett can't get traded until next year because he was a free agent.
Right.
So that's the business side of baseball.
Yeah.
Garrett's playing AAA.
Okay.
His brother CJ Stubbs playing AAA for the Washington Senators, actually called the Nationals.
Washington Nationals
I would call
farm
the
team.
Senators because when we were kids, they were called the Senators.
Yeah.
CJ Stubbs just pulled up to the majors this week?
Yes.
Garrett Stubbs just pulled back up to the majors this week.
Yes.
She has not one but 2 boys in Major League Baseball.
That is so, what a proud mom.
Is that crazy?
Oh, wow.
Well, and the
They both have been in studio before, too.
Oh, yeah.
In fact, I think if you go to Big Biz Show, I think the thumbnail.
there's
Stubbs.
yeah.
Garrett Stubbs' face.
Him off,
CJ is one of the co-hosts of Offside Sports, and it's funny.
He was.
say, not anymore.
He was.
Since we launched, he's never been on the show, but he's in the opening credits when we explain.
Well, because he's done a million pilots with you, and
Yes.
and because look, he was in the minors for 7 years.
Toiled.
He thought baseball passed him by. Here you have Garrett Stubbs, great athlete. Okay,
Yep.
his brother looks like Superman, great athlete, and it's just interesting how the business of baseball is just weird.
He didn't give up, and he just kept going at it.
That's right.
And guess what? He now is in the majors.
What position does he play?
Both are catchers.
Both
They
catchers.
both are catchers.
Do you know the interesting
Oh.
part? So on the business side here, do you realize that he says the second the game started, so he started for the first time
Yes.
yesterday.
Whoa.
Okay. It's
What
not just
team?
enough, it's just for the Washington Nationals.
Oh, yeah.
It's not just enough to be in the dugout, but the minute he took the first pitch yesterday,
Boom.
free health care for life.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
So that's the good side of it. Is now he's baseball, and if I'm not mistaken, Garrett, if he completes this season in the majors, will have the pension now.
Pension will kick in.
After
Full 9 yards.
Is
I believe it's 7.
7 years, and the
Yeah.
pension is half the salary of it's like $500,000 a year or something like that.
It's stupid good is what it is.
You said baseball is a horrible business.
It is.
Which way do you mean that?
For a player.
For a player,
Oh, because they can get traded so often and get
that part of it, and then, or sometimes. I mean, Garrett is playing behind the number one catcher in baseball. I would argue, CJ Realmuto. Mm-hmm. Right. Garrett's the backup player. If you're the backup catcher, the best catcher, it means another team wants you. He's not going anywhere because the Phillies know that he's been called the best backup catcher in baseball. I mean, he could start for any other team.
And he's got guys like Bryce Harper and Schwarber and that whole Phillies team that's going, if you get rid of Garrett Stubbs, you're going to have a revolt on your hands.
They're still making good money. I mean, right.
Yeah, but can you imagine being in Major League Baseball and then I'm going to show you I'll show you later in the program a photo that was sent to me that Garrett's manager said, "You're going back up to the show," on a baseball he wrote and put in his locker. That's how he found out about it.
I love it.
Loft 100 Studios, the Big Biz Show, and our affiliates and our hosts are not registered investment advisors or broker-dealers.
Our show hosts make no commitment that the purchase of securities of companies profiled or otherwise mentioned in our programming
are suitable or advisable for any person, or that an investment in such securities will be profitable in general.
Given the nature of the company's profile and the lack of an active trading market for the securities, investing is highly speculative and carries a certain high degree of risk.
We profile selected publicly traded and privately held companies on our program.
Most of these companies that we profile have provided compensation to Loft 100 Studios and its hosts for the profile coverage.
From time to time, we sell shares of the companies profiled in the open market that we receive as compensation for coverage of client companies.
But never sell stocks if we are speaking about interviewing or covering a public company who has paid compensation.
Specific questions on compensation can be obtained by contacting producer at sullyandgroup.com.
Listeners should verify all claims and do their own due diligence before investing in any securities mentioned on this program.
Investing in securities is speculative and carries a high degree of risk.
We encourage our investors to invest carefully and read the investor information available at the websites on the
Securities and Exchange Commission at sec.gov and or the Financial Industry Regulatory Authority, FINRA, at www.finra.org.
I like it.
Hey, is that a rescue plane?
Big Biz Show rolls on. Wherever you're watching, wherever you're listening, we always appreciate you being along for the day trader Quattro. For best in the business, no less than self-taught. Back here at the bar, it is Costa, it is Marybert Godwin, and of course, it is Sully.
Well, I'll tell you. So it was a treat watching. So now I got to watch the Padres. No, I don't gotta. Now I get to watch the Padres. And because if you're listening to us in armed forces, look at that picture. See like that there? Look at that picture up there. We just hit that.
Wow,
that's how Garrett finds out.
And did
It's
you send
so
that
great.
picture to Marty?
Huh?
You send that picture to Marty, and that's how she found.
Oh yeah,
it
well, I got that. Yeah. Isn't that fantastic? It's so great.
T-Pat, their father,
who is a celebrity himself.
Yeah,
by the way,
who I went to high school with.
You did? You did?
Pat was a year ahead of me at uni.
I had no idea.
Not.
Oh yeah.
I think he went to San Diego.
No, he's a Don.
I was up the street.
Really?
He
well, T. Patrick is a meme. Mm-hmm. Garrett's first at bat in the majors, I believe, was a double.
Right.
And you see in the stands T. Patrick going, and it's a meme out there now that you can download.
But he texted me. He goes, CJ was asked to autograph a shot glass tonight. I was dying. I don't even know what that means, but hey, you're signing it.
Hey, speaking of professionals in the majors, Howie Font.
Oh,
our lead
that
analyst
guy
from New York is joining us today. Howard, how are you, sir? How's it in New York City? And nice 3-day weekend, I'm assuming?
Very, very nice. Good to be the professional water boy here on Wall Street. Good stuff.
Do you ever go to the Mets or Yankees games? Do you ever go to a ball game out there? I always want to go to a Yankee stadium.
It's one of my favorite things to do. Is in the summer, go to Yankee Stadium. It's very easy for me. I go up the 6 line. Don't follow me, people. You can't find where I live. It's a big line. It's $2.70 to go all the way up to Yankee Stadium. You get a bleeder seat. You get a beer. I think it's a beautiful night, no matter what the
beer,
game.
Howie.
Yeah.
They're big. They're big.
Hey, let's talk about insiders being a selling secret. If you are owning if you own 5% of a company, you're called an affiliate in the public markets. If you own 10% of a company, you're called an insider, and they have to file certain documents with the SEC to sort of signal to the rest of the market that's happening. Howie, what's going on here? Because this is a signal that might be at a market top, huh?
Yeah, I think that, and also included in that group is officers of the company as well, Sully.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. If you're an insider affiliate or an officer, because they're restricted on how much they can sell based upon average daily volume. Correct, Howie?
Yeah, and they even have some new rules. Now the SEC makes them coordinate, and they have plan and blackout periods, so they can't be selling all the time willy-nilly. That's part of it. You have to say, hey, I plan on selling this much stock, and then you have to wait this many months and wait for these windows, because they're not allowed to sell when they could have inside information. So just so everyone understands, you'll do a disclosure. Everything about the company will be released for a moment in time, and they'll say, we're not going to do anything new for 3 or 4 days. So
wait. So if that's the case,
yeah, that's how.
Well, the point is, insider selling, as you say, can coincide with a lot of negative price action, stock drops, without news. Isn't that in and of itself insider information?
Well, not if it's being disclosed. I mean,
no, but I'm saying though, doesn't that tell the market these guys know something that we don't know? It's disclosed now without knowing specifics of it.
Yeah.
What I'm saying is, it means that you should take some action, don't you think?
It is a strong signal for that reason. So you've got disclosure, so information parity technically. Then you have blackout period. Insiders get to sell for 2 or 3 days.
What's the purpose of the blackout period, by the way?
The blackout period is these are the only times that they can be selling.
Okay.
This is you know that this is a structured moment in time when they're allowed to, when you have just as much information as them. Again, hypothetically, I don't think you'll ever have exactly as much information as the CEO of the company, but this is the best they can do.
Okay, wait, real quick. So what is the only reason a stock will go up? More buying than selling. That's it. Now, there's a million reasons, but there's only one way you get a stock to move forward, is you have to have more buying that day than selling. Out of the top insider trades last week, how many of them were sells? Or I should say, how many of them were sells, how many were buys?
I'm going to give this one to Michael and Mary.
I'm going to say all of them were sells.
100% of the insider trades were sells.
Whoa.
What does that tell you?
That's a little scary.
No, but
is
listen.
It scary?
Yeah, well, it's not scary. It's a signal. Now, remind. We're not talking about one company here, though, Howie. We're talking about
tremendous credit. Full points.
No, it is. But the reason. But what would this tell you? If all of these different companies have insider trades, the top 200 of these trades are all sells, what would it tell you? It would tell you that we might be at a market top here, because we're not talking about just one company here. We're talking about several companies that trade publicly, right, Howie?
That's exactly right. So when I see a signal like this, I'm not saying it's the end of the world. I'm not saying don't, go into your bunkers and all that. But they all have similar earnings season just ended, basically. We've been at information parity for a lot of these companies. They all have different blackout periods, by the way, but a lot of them coincide with earnings because that's when they do a lot of disclosures. So it's very easy to get to information parity. So of course you do earnings, a lot of blackout periods, a lot of selling. So it could just be that. There's innocent reasons to sell. If the CEO has $10 million in stock and $1 million liquid, maybe they, for personal reasons, want to sell. Fine. But all 200 of these disclosures being sells?
Yeah, the absence of insider buying is definitely a signal that you got to pay attention. Now listen, it's not, and by the way, you should not be day trading. I know we sound like when we talk, and Howie and I talk about buying and selling stock, a very small amount of our holdings are day traded. I've got a money manager that handles most of it, and the reason is I think, and Howie pointed out several times, and we've talked several times. Had you taken your money out of the stock market when you saw stuff like this, or when you saw us dropping down, and then put it back in when you thought it was safe, you get roughly half of the return that you could over the same period of time. And I don't know this last 10 years, but I'll say over the last 20 years, it's probably 6% return versus an 11% return. So had you taken the market, so you go back there 10 years later, Howie, had you taken your market you'll see COVID there, the big dip in 2020, and you see another sort of a dip in the last 2 years for 2022 to 2024, and then and such. Had you just pulled out in those times because you thought it's scary, and then put it back in, I mean, you need to keep your money at risk. I think it's the moral of the story, right, Howie? I mean, you're not telling people to jump. What you're telling people is pay attention.
No, exactly. I think you just should be aware of what's happening in the world and look. I don't think I would put on, if I got a big bonus for the quarter or something, if that's how people's comp works and they wanted to dump a bunch in the market, maybe I wouldn't necessarily do that right now. I wouldn't stop dollar cost averaging, but I would take that chart you had up earlier and just say, if you could only draw one line with no squiggles, what would it look like?
You go up, like a hockey stick. It looked like a hockey stick, right, Mark?
That's right. Thank you, buddy. Howie Font, the Big Biz Show market analyst, visits with us every single episode, making us smarter. Unfortunately, I am not, but we're going to continue after this as the Big Biz Show rolls on. Keep it here. Big Biz Show rolls on here in sunny Southern California. We are inside the Loft 100 studios, as always. We appreciate you being along for the ride. Day Trader, Quattro, Costa, Maribor Godwin, and Sully. We are brought to you by Prudential. Let Prudential be your rock for retirement. Also brought to you by Bayer Advance, better science, better results. Starbucks coffee, I'm snorting some right now. Woo-hoo! Also Bloomin' Brands and their fine family of restaurants, including the authentic Australian food found at Outback Steakhouse, where bloomin' onions grow on the side of the road on the way to Brisbane. Taylor Guitars, and of course the Keynote Drums and James's sock company, whatever he's wearing. Love it. Thank you. Mark, how is the addition to the Day Trader Quattro today?
I love having Mark here.
Because they can't, Mark, they can't play that without you. No, I shouldn't say that. They don't play that.
Exactly. It is his song.
Do we have Maria Maccecchini today? I think we do. Do we?
She probably just got back from a powerlifting competition. She's the founder, president, CEO, Annovis Bio. Their ticker symbol is ANVS. Always great to have her.
And she is here today, as usual, talking about neurodegeneration in terms of how nerve cells die and how the toxic cascade leads to nerve cell death, and they're working on this. She's doing God's work. Nice to see you, Maria, and give us an update. First of all, on the press that we saw coming out today, I believe it was today, that you're going to present at the H.C. Wainwright conference. That's pretty cool because not everyone gets to do that, and there's a lot of investors there and a lot of important folks. Talk about that just for a second.
Well, it's time, in fall there are a lot of meetings and a lot of investor meetings, and so it's time to actually get out there and present ourselves again. We have been a little bit on the quiet side because we did start our phase 3 study, and we are working very hard to recruit 760 patients, which is going to take a while. And so we are going to report on how we have increased recruitment, in that we are still on track to have everybody recruited by the end of the year, so that we will have the first readout by the end of next year.
Hey Maria, I want you to go through again, because I got a number of emails last time you were on there, on ANVS 401, that's your lead compound. Talk about exactly why that's so promising and why it's such a new approach to dealing with this in Emily.
Well, we believe it's promising from a theoretical point of view, from a mechanism of action point of view, because it actually lowers the toxicity in the brain of patients, be that Alzheimer's or Parkinson's, that have a disease, okay? So it actually helps nerve cells to feel better, and it protects them from dying. That is the mechanism of action. Of course, we have done a total of 13 studies, and in 4 of them, we have actually shown that it increases and it improves cognition as well as function. So we are pretty sure that our drug will actually be successful in this last final study, where we are treating 760 patients for 18 months.
Maria Maccecchini, founder, president, and CEO of Annovis Bio, ticker symbol is ANVS. Maria, my wife suffered a stroke back in January, and I'm just curious, the nerve death, the nerve cell death on the brain, is that all similar? Is a stroke and Parkinson's and Alzheimer's? Do you see the same things?
And by the way, God bless Meg, because she's got a great recovery going.
Huge recovery. And yeah, it's been miraculous in our world, but I'm just curious if those are all similar, the way the brain kind of dies that way.
Well, actually, yes, they're very similar. In stroke and in traumatic brain injury, it's acute. You get hit over the head, you have a hematoma that occludes a blood vessel, and then those nerve cells, they die.
Okay.
In your wife's case, it must A, not have been a very severe stroke, and B, she's young. So she has a lot of cells that can take over for the cells that have died. But basically, if you injure a cell, be that chronic, like in Alzheimer's and in Parkinson's, or be that acute, like in stroke and traumatic brain injury, eventually they die.
And Doctor, good to see you again. It looks like your potential next compound, ANVS 405, is for the traumatic brain injury and stroke. Is that correct?
Yes, that is correct.
What does that do for? Well, talk about the outcome on that in terms of patient outcomes.
Well, we don't have patient outcome, we have rat outcome.
Well, what are we hoping for?
In rats, it actually fully protects the brain. And we saw that in a number of ways. If a rat gets hit over the head, a piece of the brain dies. If we treat it with our drug, that piece of the brain does not die.
Wow.
The other part is you look in rats of whether they get demented. Do they forget? Do they get incontinent? Can they not remember what they're doing? And in fact, if we treat our rats with our compound after hitting them over the brain, they are normal. So it actually protects nerve cells from dying in these rats. I wish I had the same data in humans, but I don't have it.
Maria, going through, believe it or not, we're heading into the third quarter of the year, which is nuts. And then, what are we, a month away or 2 months away?
It's a blink till
I mean, it really is.
Yeah, really.
How do you start planning for next year in terms of, I know capital formation is part of it is patience, so on and so forth. How do you sort of triage that? Because you also have the science and your people developing. Is the number one issue right now raising capital, or is it all of the FDA arc of that story? What are you putting your efforts?
No, the FDA. We don't need the FDA for another year. So whatever we did with the FDA, they told us, go ahead, we like your drug. Well, they didn't quite say it this way. They said, go ahead with your drug, do a pivotal study, and if that looks good, which we will know by the end of next year, you can actually file an NDA. So from an FDA point of view, we're covered. From a financial point of view, we are not covered. We have money until first quarter of next year, so we are raising money right now to get to the end of next year, so to the data.
Hey, Maria, I want to go back to the treatments. Are they something you ingest? Are they injected? What's the treatment? How do people get treated with these compounds?
So for Parkinson's and Alzheimer's, it's a pill a day. Okay. For stroke and traumatic brain injury, because we want the drug to go into the brain very fast, it would be an injection.
Maria Maccecchini is the founder, president, CEO, Annovis Bio, ANVS, and as Sully likes to say, doing God's work.
I'll tell you what.
Absolutely.
I want to see what her bench press stats are.
Oh, of course. I bet there probably
is. Get her in studio because
yeah,
it's an arm wrestling contest.
All right, keep it here. Lots to come with the Big Biz Show. Don't go anywhere.
Loft 100 Studios, the Big Biz Show, and our affiliates and our hosts are not registered investment advisors or broker-dealers.
Our show hosts make no commitment that the purchase of securities of companies profiled or otherwise mentioned in our programming
are suitable or advisable for any person, or that an investment in such securities will be profitable in general.
Given the nature of the company's profile and the lack of an active trading market for the securities, investing is highly speculative and carries a certain high degree of risk.
We profile selected publicly traded and privately held companies on our program.
Most of these companies that we profile have provided compensation to Loft 100 Studios and its hosts for the profile coverage.
From time to time, we sell shares of the companies profiled in the open market that we receive as compensation for coverage of client companies.
But never sell stocks. If we are speaking about interviewing or covering a public company who has paid compensation.
Specific questions on compensation can be obtained by contacting producer at sullyandgroup.com.
Listeners should verify all claims and do their own due diligence before investing in any securities mentioned on this program.
Investing in securities is speculative and carries a high degree of risk.
We encourage our investors to invest carefully and read the investor information available at the websites on the
Securities and Exchange Commission at sec.gov and or the Financial Industry Regulatory Authority, FINRA, at www.finra.org.
I like it.
Hey, is that a rescue plane?
Big Biz Show rolls on. We're inside the Loft 100 studio. In over 175 countries, all the ships at sea. As always, we say a special thank you to the brave men and women of the United States Armed Forces for what they do, what they've done for us. That's the day trader Quattro back here at the bar. It's Costa, Mary Godwin, and of course, Sully. Very good. Day trader trio, day trader Quattro with Mike
I'm going to break out into song on that one.
No.
It's a good song, guys.
I'm so excited because Dan Negroni is here. Dan Negroni, of course, is a CEO coach, a consultant, a very close friend. He's the chief launch officer of Launchbox 360, but more importantly, he is now a college professor. And Dan, most important,
He's
as a grandfather.
Dan.
The most handsome grandfather. Grandfathers didn't look like that back when we were kids.
No.
Okay, let me just tell you what. Grandpas didn't look like that. We talked to Dan a while ago about team growth, team assessment using Marley. And the three of us, well, actually the four of us.
You didn't put me on, but we all have it. I have that information I could pull.
Marley is AI-driven.
Marley is an AI-driven what?
Performance operating system.
So we all took independent tests together. And Mary thought, I want to retake it because you guys beat me.
I was like, I think I got a bad score.
It wasn't a competition.
The best score. Okay, I just want to say it's not a test, it's an assessment to see how you're motivated at work. That's it. Okay. Just how you are motivated at work.
On the test?
I'm like, what's going to look best on camera?
Are any of us similar? And are you and I similar?
Yes.
I thought so.
In lots of areas, we're similar. I wanted to do you guys.
Yeah, no, I was just curious.
So,
all right.
Yes, you and I are similar in a lot of ways, but not in a lot of ways, actually, too. And that's the really coolest thing about motivations. It's what you get out of work.
Okay, so on the big screen right now, we're seeing there.
Those are Sully's. Actually, you can see you have.
So you're holding the guitar.
You
is that what that is?
Yeah.
Your icon?
In the picture.
Okay.
He's the only one who put in a picture. You're both M with different colors.
Oh,
when we get to that.
Put a picture in? See, I already failed.
Here's what happens. You go in, no failing. Okay. You take. There are 16 categories. You can see them across the top. Action level, action direction, which what we're going to talk about, all the way through convincer input. We'll talk about that as well. But those are Sully's, and those are what he's highest on, 95 and 91%. And interesting, they're in the same category of action direction.
What is action direction?
Okay, well, so you ask. What action direction is your likelihood to want to reach goals and how you feel motivated about goals, and more importantly, how you see problems when you're getting there. Mm-hmm. And so you are interestingly high at both. You have a really high goal, like one of the highest, 95%, right? And a 91% focus on seeing problems to get to the goals.
That is you.
Well, because she always says I'm two steps ahead.
Right.
Avoiding, I think in terms of avoiding the speed bump before I even get to the speed bump. But I'm not objecting. I'm not countering objections before they happen. But I just think 2 steps ahead before because I think it's more efficient.
Which is so you asked about you and I. I'm very different. I'm very goal focused, but I only deal with problems when I get to them, and then I crush them. I don't actually like problems, and probably because I'm a coach, I'm always reframing everything for everyone. So at work, I have to be positive. I have to find a solution. I am not necessarily looking for problems to get somewhere. I'm looking for solutions.
I'm looking for pain avoidance. Right. I'm avoiding pain before it happens, I think.
So super interesting. So you all have these, and when we have more time, I can go through all of yours individually with you. So action direction is that bucket where goals and problems
Which
meet.
M am I?
Okay, so now we have, hold on, for folks listening to us only, not seeing us, for Armed Forces Network, we're now showing the 3 of us together.
Yes.
In terms of the greatest similarities and greatest differences, which is really.
And we can show all 48. Like we if that's a screenshot, but I can scroll down here and look at all of yours right now. And
boy, we bifurcate or trifurcate.
Okay, so let's talk. I picked greatest similarities. What I picked was actually information. You're all very high on it. Both Sully and Mike are 79%.
Of what now? On information?
This is information, which means that you actually.
Does that mean we want the data points? Is that?
Yes.
Okay.
You want the data points. This is called your interest filter category, and it's what you enjoy engaging with. And so you all enjoy engaging with data and information, which is interesting. These are your jobs, right? If you really want someone to drive home the stats and statistics, who are you calling in this team? Do you know? You can look up there, but you can't guess?
Sully.
Him.
It's actually you.
Me?
Yes.
Okay.
With a 93%.
Well,
yes, she's like, I won. I won.
Repeat that, because I think we lost that. So say once again.
Oh, this one on the third one down.
Interest filters are what truly drives you at work, your motivations. What truly drives you is being able to understand the facts. It's not that they're bad at it. They're just a little bit less. They're 79%, which is still pretty high if you think about, right? And you can see right there, in the bottom, it's actually not showing on the screen, but this is based against the average range of the USA population, and we could do it pretty much anywhere in the world. Or if you're a company at one of your stores or locations, you can do it on that average. So this is based on the average. So look how cool that is.
Back to the question you said, because this is a good point that just happened in real life, real time. But you said, if people want information, they're going to come to me?
Yes.
Okay. So this is interesting because the other day I was wanting to gather information because
Everybody
am the
always goes
person
to you.
comes to me for information.
Everybody goes to you.
Whether it's the band or crew or whoever.
Well, but because
if they need to know an answer, but I want the information.
You're naturally a den mother. I mean, you are the herder of people.
Yeah. So it's the level of information and facts and data that you want, and you want the most because probably you're chief mama bear. You want to protect everyone, and you need to make sure that you get it
Is that
right.
an official title?
Dan, what is
Den mother, mama bear.
What does compliance mean on here? So, Grace, what does compliance refer to here? We're all very similar in compliance, it looks like.
Yeah, compliance is my. I'm trying to get the definition as they say it. Your motivation levels for following the rules, values, and customs of the company.
All right, that's it.
So look where you guys are all
halfway there.
Well,
No, we're right in the middle of the population.
I see what you're saying.
You're right in the middle of the population, but I would also say you have to roll with things.
Yeah.
This is live television.
Totally.
You have to figure it out as you go, and sometimes you have to make. Well, I'm going to say that. Make things up to make sure that everything works.
By the way,
well.
the light blue is Mary, the dark blue, the light blue M is Mary, the dark blue M is Mike.
Yeah, the purple, yes.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
So talk about consistency. What does that mean?
Consistency is,
This is really interesting. And once again, we're looking at Marley, which is an app that is used for
performance operating system. So imagine what you can unlock if you're managing someone.
Sure.
Or if you are trying to communicate with someone and there's a difference of, I have that in my world as well, there's a difference or a challenge in communication, you can actually look at the insights, and young people can go on, you can click a button and it'll just generate a written insight. We don't have that live, but I could do that for you.
Real quick, the reason Dan's doing this, if you're just joining the show, Dan is really a performance executive in terms of CEO coaching and as well as workforce coaching. And it all started because of the book Chasing Relevance, that we were talking about millennials taking over the world.
Yeah.
Now it's Gen X, Gen Y.
Gen Z.
And Gen Z. Now. And there's this confluence of Gen Z workers and now millennial management. that has to come together, as well as old school, old guy management has to come together.
I think you're super right, and the fact is, how do we all get along and how do we figure out how to collaborate and connect when we're so differently? And we know the generations are different, and so how do we figure it out? And how do we do it at scale? Because not everyone can afford a $1,000 an hour coach. They have to actually, but this does it at scale. So any Gen Z can look up all this stuff about their boss, about their teammates.
But this is a picture of efficiency for me in terms of saying, okay, I'm not going to chase a rabbit looking for information over here or over here.
Yeah.
I mean, if
exactly.
Honestly, I mean, and I
go to the source.
Cemented. Is that a dirty look I'm getting?
No, it's not.
Are you superiority? Are you
it was a little bit that I was right. No, I was just thinking about how, because sometimes you'll say, that you don't need that information, but I'm like, I do need it because of all these reasons.
No, I don't say you don't need information. I say stay in your lane.
That's all.
All right, we will.
Hey, did you order the paper towels? I'm pretty sure that's not true.
We will continue with Dan Negroni, and we will get to the root of the problem. Why Big Biz Show rolls on. For the Loft 100 studios here in sunny Southern California, that is the Day Trader Quattro. Back at the bar, it is Costa, it is Marybird Godwin, it is Sully, and we are joined by our great friend Dan Negroni.
And we are brought to you by Prudential. Let Prudential be your rock for retirement. Also brought to you by Bayer Advanced, better science, better results. Mike, it goes on your lawn, so don't take it. Starbucks coffee, and of course, Bloomin' Brands, our fine family restaurant, and Taylor Guitars, and of course, now Marley. We gotta go hit them up for sponsorship, no? We should have the Marley people on the air with us at some point if you want.
We can't. They're in Australia, so it is now in Sydney, 4:19 a.m.
Yeah, we have to modify the show. So let's bring up that graphic again. If you're just joining us here, we're using Marley, which is a performance optimization system that Dan relies on in his coaching for CEOs and employees. And we've seen activity, compliance, information, consistency. What is
consistency? You had asked before the break. It's the level of importance for you to consistently check your conclusions and decisions.
Yeah.
And look, you guys are actually, in greatest similarities. That's where you are. Interesting, Sully. Look how rule and disciplined, and with the goals as well, very structured in the behavior and the motivations to want to do something, and you guys are kind of more by the middle and average. Let's talk about, can we talk about difference?
Yes, please.
By the way, I want to be very clear if you're listening to this on the radio on American Forces Network cross country, when Dan's about to say effective communication, it's not effective communication, it's affective communication.
Right.
I mean, how does communication affect the person that you're encoding and decoding from?
Yeah, well, certainly I was going to talk about convincer inputs, and what convincer inputs, so, right, there's 16 categories, and doing is in convincer inputs. So is hearing and seeing and reading, okay? Those are all the convincer inputs, which are how individuals gather information, what convinces them. So you can see there on doing, Sully, it's very interesting. While you really want information and facts, as we saw before in the last segment, you really don't have to do it to believe it. You have to actually read it or see it in writing and understand. Well, look.
This is called don't piss on my leg and tell me it's raining. No, truly. I mean, you guys have heard me say it.
Explain that a little bit more.
So you guys, you really want to, with a fourth percentile, Sully doesn't have to experience himself. He can just read it or discuss it. You guys with 67% and 77% need to do or have a personal experience that feels right before you can be convinced.
Wait, am I the purple or the blue?
You're light blue.
You're light blue.
She's
Uh-oh.
All this time we thought we were.
I know. So
all this time,
Mary is light blue.
Yeah. Okay.
Can I? So it's interesting for you when you say that, because I conduct so much due diligence before. I don't feel like, and I do third party to where it's credible. I'm not going to the University of Google. Right. That's why I feel with myself effectively. And again, for me, it's about, because of my crazy schedule, and everybody's got a crazy schedule, but for me, it's about efficiency. I mean, if there's any one thing that drives my life, it's efficiency.
Well, and that's what
or at least my perception of efficiency.
100%. So this is Marley. You are motivated by efficiency.
Yeah.
It's how you run your life, and you can see. And so efficiency is not going out and doing something.
Right. I don't even take the time to do it.
Delegates it.
But I'm convinced.
Which is why you guys got to do it.
Which is why we're not. It's like Bill Burr isn't impressed by Steve Jobs. He goes, "Hey, go give me a music thing, and I'll come back in 3 weeks. It should be there."
Yeah.
Because I'm not impressed. I think Mary and I have been together in terms of work relationships for 8 years, 7 years now. And she's and she is my closest sort of contact in terms of several actions of the business. And we're experiencing this, which is really interesting because this is validating.
Because we're very similar in a lot of ways.
But this is validating here, isn't it?
Absolutely opposite.
This validates what we experienced, Dan.
Yeah.
Like what you're seeing here.
Yeah, so why don't we look at difference?
Let's look at the problems.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Level of energy for radical change and things that are new and unique.
What is that?
Okay.
Oh, is that alternatives?
No, that is difference.
Difference. Okay,
difference. Okay. So look where Mary is. Look where your level for change is. Right?
I don't like change.
Okay, wait. Say that again.
Look,
Define that
I'll
again.
read it again. And so all these definitions are in there. You can get all the information in Marley, getmarley.com. The difference is the level of energy for radical change and things that are new, different, and unique. Sully's smack in the middle with the average population. Look where Mary is. And this guy's like me. Yeah. He's like,
bring it on.
Go. Yes,
let's
bring
go.
It on. Let's go.
So you're died to the world. Do you not want
because I do like change and challenges, but maybe I don't. I also want stability and comfort, and I want to know what's happening.
There's probably another motivation that you like to think broadly or experience new things.
Yes. This one is.
Yeah, this one is particularly for radical change and things that are new and different.
Like, I want things to happen as they're supposed to happen.
So when a new boss,
they're supposed to happen.
When a new boss comes in, Mary's the first to get fired, right?
She's like, that's what we've always done it this way.
Let's give her power, or the first to quit.
Oh, there you go. There you go. I'm out of here.
Come on.
If you're the CEO of a new company, if you come in, the first thing you do is you go talk to your best clients.
Yep.
Then you come back and turn the fat. No, that's like the second thing you do.
Let's also talk about you for a second, Mike. Sorry.
Uh-oh.
But we were talking about problems and seeing problems. You are just like me. You are in the 18th percentile of wanting to see problems. You'll deal with them when we're actually very similar, Mike.
Exactly. No, you're not. Because you're no, you're not. Because Mike, no, I'll tell you why. Because you, Dan, are an effective communicator, an effective leader, an effective. You need to be a great CEO, and are a great CEO. Mike's like.
Okay, Sully. So that's a really.
That's the difference.
Okay, so that's a really interesting point in using the motivations in a performance operating system. Is you can figure out who is your top salesperson, and even though you know these little things, what you think is making the difference is not making the difference.
Right.
So if you want to hire with 90% reliability to figure out who is the top salesperson, you got to go deep and really understand all 48. And we are skimming the surface here.
We make not new hires, but at interviews.
Yes.
Come take this assessment.
Yes. And you with 90% reliability, figure out whether someone will fit in the culture.
Oh, that's pretty
90% reliability.
I wonder if we post-mortem have everyone take this if we would have hired anybody.
Sully, interesting question, because that's right. There's 16 billion points of data in here.
Yeah.
And all the data is from the past. Yeah, from past history over all the people that have taken.
This is like a food sensitivity test. This is like a food allergy test.
Yeah.
Right? This employee allergy test.
It's employee allergy test. Okay, I got that. So it's a really rich system, and you can go into. We don't have it live, but you can ask it questions. If you were going to say, Mary, if Sully and I were going to have a conflict, what should I do? And it'll spit out exactly.
Dan, this has been really. I think we should do a deep dive in this. So maybe do some more people, like maybe the band members. I would love to. I mean, just because it's a different sort of set of. They're not sitting at a desk. It's a band. It's similar but different.
Anyone can use the system for free. It's a free product as an individual and see your assessments. It's the comparison and all the information that you pay. Right, you unlock to pay.
Wow.
For. Yeah.
Dude, that was fantastic. As once again,
really great stuff. Dan Negroni, speaker, CEO, coach, consultant, chief launch officer, professor, brand new Dan Grandpa, and telling us more about ourselves than we thought we knew.
Marley needs to hire Dan as an endorsement.
Yeah, big time.
We're
All right, that'll do it for this edition of the Big Biz Show. As always, thank you for being along for the ride. See you next time.